Hi, Roger, Preston, Jaden. Hope you guys are doing well today. I hope you had a great spring break. But it's time to get back to work. Ta-da! Your favorite thing. Are you reviewing these every day? I hope so. It's the only way to learn them. But it doesn't take long. Let's go through them again. About, above, across, after, against, along, among, around, at, before, behind, below, beneath, beside, between, beyond, but, by, concerning, down, during, except, for, from, in, inside, into, like, near, of, off, on, onto, out, outside, over, past, regarding, since, through, in, to, toward, under, underneath, until, up, upon, with, within, without. Good job. Now remember, this Thursday, you're going to be taking a quiz on sections 1, sections 2, and sections 3, from about all the way to of. So, review, review, and more review till you're saying them in your sleep. Alright, let's review prepositional openers, the number 2. Now remember, the reason it's called a number 2 is because that's an easy way to label it when you're using it in one of your papers. So if you use a prepositional opener like in Revenge for the Persian Wars, Alexander attacked Persia, out in your margin you're going to put a little number 2 there, and I know that, oh, okay, there's their prepositional opener. Okay, and remember also that your prepositional opener has to have a comma right after the prepositional phrase. Outside my window, comma, I heard my dog barking at a squirrel. Okay, prepositional openers, number 2. And the number 3 opener is an ly adverb opener. And we've been talking about ly adverbs for a long time. This is just a sentence that begins with an ly adverb, like conveniently. My family has had plenty of toilet paper. Make sure you put a comma after your ly adverb if you're using it as an opener. Eventually, comma, this awful pandemic will be over. Now, I also want to tell you that when you're writing papers and you use an ly adverb opener, you also have to have an ly adverb in your paragraph as well. So in every paragraph, you're going to have 2 ly adverbs. Okay? If this is required in a paragraph, you also have to have a regular ly adverb somewhere else in the paragraph. So this cannot count for your ly adverb. Just saying. Keep that in mind. Okay. So let's just go over a couple of examples. I wrote 2 paragraphs here, giving examples of how you can put all this together. Look for prepositional openers, ly adverb openers, alliteration, ly adverb, who, which clause, and because clause. Those are some of the main things that we are trying to incorporate in our writing. Now, of course, there's strong adjectives and verbs too, but these are some of the more unusual elements that I want you to include. All right, first paragraph. Occasionally, we used to play hangman in writing class. Jaden, who loves that game, would eagerly wait for her turn. Between Brooks breaking pencils and Roger ruminating over the right answer, Jaden thought they would never guess correctly. Is that true? All right. So, okay, first of all, you have an ly adverb opener. So if this is a paper you were writing for me, you would put out here in your margin a number 3. Okay? ly adverb opener, comma. All right, Jaden, who loves that game, there's your who, which clause. Who loves that game, you have a comma before the who, which, and a comma after. Would eagerly, there's your plain ly adverb. Notice you have an ly adverb opener and an ly adverb in your sentence, in your paragraph. And here's the alliteration, between Brooks breaking. Okay, BBB. And here's another one, Roger ruminating, right. And notice there are a couple small words in between the R words, but that's okay. As long as they're small and it doesn't interrupt the flow, the Roger ruminating, right, and that's fine. And here's another ly adverb. So I've used 2 ly adverbs plus an ly adverb opener. And I don't think it sounds too contrived. All right, let's go look at another one. During the pandemic quarantine, we have undeniably been playing a heap of board games and video games because there's not much else to do. Eventually, we will be able to see our friends again, and our leisurely, lonely lives will get back to normal. All right, what do you see in here? First of all, we have a prepositional opener. During is a preposition, right? During the pandemic quarantine, that's your prepositional phrase. You have a comma after the prepositional phrase. We have undeniably, there's an ly adverb, been playing a heap of board games and video games because, there's a because clause, there's not much else to do. Eventually, here's an ly adverb opener. It's not necessarily the beginning of the paragraph, but it's an opening of a sentence in the middle of the paragraph. Eventually, we will be able to see our friends again, and our leisurely, lonely lives, alliteration, leisurely, lonely lives, will get back to normal. Okay, so you can incorporate a lot of this stuff in a paragraph. It does take some thinking, but it can be done. Okay, now I want to talk a little bit about what's called ly adverb imposters. You may have noticed, excuse me, this word down here, leisurely, lonely, okay? Now it ends in an ly, but this is not an adverb. This is an adjective describing lives. So not every word that ends in an ly is going to be an adverb. Some words are called ly adverb imposters. Okay? These are words like chilly, friendly, holy, kingly, lonely, lovely, prickly, and ugly. There are others, but these are just some examples. And these are, what kind of words are these? They're describing words. They're describing the weather. The weather was chilly. Or maybe his dog was friendly. The Bible is holy. His robe was kingly. My friend was lonely, etc. These are adjectives describing people, places, or things. Okay? So don't assume that every ly word is an ly adverb. Make sure that it's describing an action. Ly adverbs have to describe an action. Ly adjectives describe people, places, and things. All right. So something new that you're going to be adding into your papers is called a simile. It looks like the word smile. If you take this I out, it looks like smiles. But this word is pronounced similes. Similes use the words like or as to compare two unrelated things. And I think we may have mentioned these before in class, but we've never talked about them in depth. Here's some examples. Jaden's smile is as bright as sunshine. Okay, it's using the word as here, comparing the smile, Jaden's smile, to the sunshine. How are they both similar? Maybe they're both warm and they both make you feel good and they both are bright and happy. Okay, if you see that connection, it's comparing the smile to the sunshine. All right, Brooks races as fast as a cheetah. Fast as a cheetah. This is your simile, using the word as. Now, this is comparing how Brooks races to how a cheetah runs. Okay, a cheetah runs very, very fast. So that means, Brooke must race very fast. Okay, Roger's voice is as smooth as silk. Okay, it's comparing his voice to silk. Silk is very smooth and soft, and his voice, when he sings or talks, is very smooth and soft. All right, here's some other examples using the word like. We've seen examples with as. You can also use the word like to make a simile. Her eyes sparkled like diamonds. Comparing eyes with diamonds. They both are bright, they both sparkle, they're both beautiful. Eyes to diamonds, like. It was like the quiet after a storm. Okay? The quiet after a storm is when it's been loud and raging, maybe the wind is blowing and the rain is pounding down, but after the storm it seems very quiet, and that it's comparing that time to it, whatever it was. Okay, but it uses the word like. It was like. And lastly, Dad slept like a newborn babe. Okay, comparing how Dad slept to the way that a newborn baby would sleep. Newborn baby often will sleep oblivious of lots of loud noises. They don't care, they just want to sleep. And that's how Dad was sleeping at that time. Okay, so similes use the words like or as to compare two unrelated things, and it helps you describe something using something else. So this is one decoration you're going to put in your papers from now on. The other one is called a metaphor. Metaphors also compare things. They compare two things that aren't alike, but they share some common characteristics, similar to similes as well. Here's some examples. America is a melting pot. Now, notice it doesn't say America is like a melting pot. It's not using the words like or as. Metaphors just say this is this, okay? But it's comparing America to a melting pot. How is America like a melting pot? Well, a melting pot, you put things in there, usually unrelated things maybe. A stew pot might be a better idea. You've got lots of things in there, you mix it together and it makes something new. That's how America is. We're a country of immigrants from all over the world, different cultures and ethnicities, and we all come together to make a country that is not just made of one type of person. So America is a melting pot is a metaphor. My brother's room is a disaster area. Okay, it's comparing his room to a disaster area. So how are they similar? Maybe your brother's room is full of trash, and it's a mess, and everything's scattered and not where it belongs. Have you ever seen pictures of after a hurricane or after a twister, how everything is disordered and everything's thrown around and not where it belongs, and there's lots of trash around? Maybe that's what his room looks like. Here's another example. You are my sunshine, comparing you to the sun, which is, again, warm and bright. Maybe it's describing that person as warm and bright. Excuse me. The lake was a mirror reflecting the beautiful cloudless sky. All right, comparing the lake. If you've ever seen a lake that's very still and very clear, if you look in it, you can see the reflection of the clouds or whatever, birds or whatever's in the sky. Trees, sometimes you can see that reflection because it's like a mirror. But again, it doesn't say it's like a mirror. That would be a simile. But a metaphor just says the lake was a mirror. And lastly, her sister is a night owl. Okay? Obviously, her sister is not an owl, but she is like a night owl in that maybe she stays up all night and does her work or whatever she's doing. So they're similar in a certain characteristic. They're not the same, but they're similar, and they're compared using a metaphor. Okay? All right. So, what I want you to do for your classwork today, for the rest of this time, is to cut out and learn your new vocabulary words from lessons 14 and 15. We are going to be skipping the writing assignment for lesson 14, but we're still going to learn the vocabulary words. So you'll have those two lessons to learn. We won't have a quiz for several weeks, but get them out, look over them, and start studying them. Okay, and then your homework, which is due Thursday, in 2 days, is to study for a preposition quiz, like we talked about earlier, for the first 3 groups, and to print out. There are some pages in your student resource manual or your student resource packet that will give you some practice with similes and metaphors. And I'm going to post a link to those on this thread in the forum so you can find them. Or you can print them out from your student resource packet that you downloaded onto your computer. Either way, print those out and complete those. It will give you some more practice with similes and metaphors. Okay? And on Thursday, we'll talk about our next writing project. All right, until then, I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see you back again next time. Bye-bye.